Okay, welcome back everyone. As we continue our Motzei Shabbos marathon in what is a very challenging perek, the perek of Hazov in Masechtas Bava Metzia, and we are holding two lines from the bottom of Daf Mem Daled Amud Beis. So the Gemara now says, Tistayim the Rabbi Yochanan who the Amar ein mechalalinan. Let us prove that it's Rabbi Yochanan who is of the position, as we welcome in Philippe for our 27th Zoomer of the evening. And Philippe, it's good to have you as we just started the second block. Two lines from the bottom of Daf Mem Daled Amud Beis. So the Gemara now says that let us prove Tistayim de Rabbi Yochanan hu da Amar ein mechalalinan. Let us prove that it's Rabbi Yochanan's position that you cannot deconsecrate the money, the fruit of Meiser Sheni directly onto gold. Why? Because when you deconsecrate in the first, second, fourth and fifth year of the Shemitah cycle, after taking Meiser Rishon, the second Meiser is Meiser Sheni, where you have to take the fruit up and eat it in Yerushalayim. Now, of course, if you have a lot of fruit, you're not going to be able to take the fruit up, so you redeem it onto money, as it says with Tzartoa Kesef Biyodecha. Now, we said that one Mandiyama says that you cannot deconsecrate the fruit onto gold dinare, because gold dinare are considered produce, and you can't deconsecrate produce onto produce. So the Gemara says, let's say, Tistayim de Rabbi Yochanan hu da Amar ein mechalalinan. Let's prove that that's Rabbi Yochanan's position. Da Amar Rabbi Yochanan, asur l'lava is dinner b'dinner. You're not allowed to give a loan a dinner for a dinner. So again, you remember what we spoke about in the previous daf. We said that I cannot lend Eddie a saw and have him pay me a saw later, because when he pays me the saw later, the price of the saw might have gone up, and then he's giving me ribbis. He's giving me bigger value. So Rabbi Yochanan goes on record as saying, asur l'lavas dinner b'dinner. You're not allowed to give a loan a dinner for a dinner. Now, what kind of a dinner? There's silver dinarim and then there's gold dinari. So, dinner demai, what kind of a dinner? Marshall is thinking Frankfurters. No, not that kind of dinner, Marshall. Ilema dinner shel kesef, bedinner shel kesef, ligabe nafshe. If it means that I can't lend 100 pieces of silver to get back 100 pieces of silver, that can't be. Is there any mandiyama that says silver itself is not coins? And we said that you could lend coins for coins, because even if the coins have better buying power, that's not considered that the coins go up in value. That's just considered that the merchandise fluctuates. Ela pshita dinner shel zav b'dinner shel zav. It means a golden coin with a golden coin. Why? Because that's produce, so it's like saw b'saw, ulaman. Ila Beis Hillel, if it's going according to Beis Hillel, ha imrei tivahabe. Beis Hillel says that gold is coinage, because remember he says that gold in relationship to silver, since it's more chashiv, it's the money, and therefore it's money. And if it's money, then you could exchange money for money. Elalav leBeis Shammai. It must be going according to Beis Shammai. Reb Shmami no Reb Yochanan Udama, that Reb Yochanan holds that gold is considered produce, it's considered merchandise, and therefore it's Reb Yochanan that says ein mechalalinan, that therefore you cannot deconcentrate Paris of Meiser Sheni onto gold, because you can't deconsecrate Paris onto Paris. Says the Gemara, no, why? It's not necessarily interconnected. It's not necessarily linked. Maybe you could do Paris onto gold. But shani halva, when it comes to a loan, kevan de inyan mekach umemker, since in regard to business, shavinu rabbanan kipeira, the rabbanan say that the gold is considered merchandise and the silver is the currency, and therefore the meshicha that's made on the gold acquires the silver. Da'amrinan, because we say, ihu nihu, because we say, ihu nihu da'oker v'zil, it's the gold that goes up in price and goes down in price. Legabe halva name, when it comes to a loan, also pei rahave. It's considered produce because it's like sabasa, which you're not allowed to do. But when it comes to being mechal peiris onto gold, he would still hold that gold is considered money, and you could deconcentrate fruits of Ma'aser Sheni onto gold. And Achanami Mistavra, the Chi Asa Rav and Amr Reb Yochanan, Afal Pisha Amru Asa Lalava is Dina Bediner, even though you cannot lend gold dinari, then get paid back gold dinari because it's considered like produce. And maybe the gold dinari that you get back is going to be worth more and it's going to be interest. Aval Mechal and Ma'aser Sheni alav, but you could deconcentrate Ma'aser Sheni onto gold because it's still considered like money. Shmamina. Tajma. Ha-poireit sela memoyis Ma'aser Sheni. Now here, what happens is Ruvain wants to go up to Eretz Yisrael. And he has deconsecrated his peiros of Ma'aser Sheni onto copper. Now he doesn't want to schlep up all his copper coins. It's heavy. So he wants to exchange it for silver. So that's light. So Beis Shammai holds, ha-poireit sela memoyis Ma'aser Sheni, Beis Shammai oimrim bakol ha'sela mois. Beis Shammai says that he could exchange all the copper for a coin of silver, so that he has lightweight travels. Beis Hillel says no. B'shekel kesef, b'shekel mois. A seller is 2 shekalim. He says he should keep a shekel in silver. He should exchange a shekel to silver, but he should keep a shekel of copper. Now, Beis Hillel is having the foresight that he's worried that when Reuven gets up, if he exchanged all his copper for silver, then when Reuven gets up to Yerushalayim and wants to buy with the money of Ma'aser Sheni milk, or with the money of Ma'aser Sheni a roll, he's going to have to exchange for copper. Silver buys him, a couple of steaks. But he only wants to buy milk or bread, he's going to need copper. So he's going to have to rechange his silver, break it into copper. And everybody's going to have to do that. Then the price for copper is going to go up because there's going to be a run on copper. And that's going to hurt Ma'aser Sheni. It's going to devalue Ma'aser Sheni because they're going to have to pay a rate of exchange to get that copper. So therefore, Beis Hillel foresees this and says, no, Reuven, when you go up, don't change all your copper into silver. Keep half copper and half silver, so you won't have to go get change when you go up to Eretz Yisrael. But here, what does this have to do with the price of tea in China? Very clever. Obviously, since Reuven is exchanging his copper for silver, that means that he's allowed to deconsecrate his Ma'aser Sheni onto copper. So hashta l'beis Shammai l'gabe pritei mechalalinon, if he could exchange his Ma'aser Sheni on copper, l'gabe dava meboy, shouldn't he surely be able to exchange his Ma'aser Sheni onto gold? Says no, because in certain places copper is very current. It's a cheap thing. You could buy pickles for copper. You could buy licorice for copper. You could buy, a bottle of Pepsi for copper. So shani prite ba'asvid the sagin, in a place where there's a lot of it, charife, it's very current. Now the Gemara, since this was not complicated enough, so now the Gemara gives us another version. Right? It always, Berish always likes another version. And then comparing the two versions, it's the stuff that you get nightmares about. But anyway, says the Gemara, Lishna Achrina, another version. Lishna Achrina Imrila, another version was given. Rabbi Yochanan Reish Lakish, it's Machlokes Rabbi Yochanan Reish Lakish. Chad Amar, Machlokes B'Sla and Al Dinarim, whether you're allowed to change silver onto gold. Why? In other words, again, Berish wants to go up to Yerushalayim, and instead of carrying 25 pieces of silver, he wants to carry only one piece of gold. So the shaila is, are you allowed to exchange silver for gold? The Beis Shammai says no, because it says v'tzarta hakesef rishon. You can only make one exchange, v'loy kesef sheni, but not a second exchange. It says hakesef, it also says kesef, so that's inclusive. Afilu kesef sheni, you could make another pass. Aval peiris al dinarin, but fruit onto golden dinare. Everybody agrees that you could consecrate it. That's the first exchange. There's also an argument if you could do peiris on the golden dinare, because maybe the golden dinare is considered produce, and you're not allowed to do produce on produce. Says the Gemara, the Mandiyama that says that there's an argument whether you could do silver onto gold. If the argument is simply whether you could make a second exchange with money, could you exchange silver onto other silver? Are you allowed to do that? Says Hani mili slan al slan. Aval b'slan al dinarim, but coins onto silver onto gold, maybe moidulu beis Hillel beis Shammai, that the gold is considered produce, and you're not allowed to do money on produce. The davag the gabe kaspa pei rahave v'lo yimechallinon, and you can't do silver onto gold because you can't do money back onto produce. Kamash Malan that you can. So Tajma. So here the Gemara asked, what do you mean? How could you say that one of them holds that you can't do coins onto coins? Tajma, ha'pirit seller shel ma'aser sheni b'Yerushalayim, when you exchange a seller of ma'aser sheni in Yerushalayim, Beis Shammai omer b'kol ha'seller mois, you could take change for the entire seller. Well, Beis Hillel says no, b'shekel kesef b'shekel mois. You want to keep some silver and some copper, again, not to impact on the exchange rate and cause a run on copper. But here we see that you could exchange silver onto you could exchange silver for copper, and that's definitely kesef for kesef. V'lei amrina kesef rishon, and we don't say you could only do it one time. V'lei kesef sheni, legabe dava, to do it onto gold. The chosheminei mi amrina kesef rishon v'lei kesef sheni. So Rava says, no, you're mixing apples and oranges. Here you're talking about doing it in Yerushalayim. Of course, in Yerushalayim you have to be able to get change. Why? Because the pasuk says that you could buy with money of ma'aser sheni b'chol asher tish'olcha nafshecha, anything that your soul desires, even a Pepsi. Now, Pepsi you can't buy with silver; you have to buy with copper. So obviously, you have to be able to exchange it in Yerushalayim. In Yerushalayim is different. Amar Rav Yerushalayim kamaisvis. Shani Yerushalayim d'chsivei v'nesata kesef b'chol asher ta'ava nafshecha, whatever your soul desires. Babakar b'tzayin, and the pasuk goes on to say b'chol asher tisholcha nafshecha. So obviously you have to be able to make small change. So in Yerushalayim there's no question. The problem is when you're going to Eretz Yisrael, whether you're allowed to exchange it once only, or you're also allowed to pass it from money to another set of money. Tashma, hapirit selam amayis ma'aser sheni. As we said, if Ruvain breaks a seller for money of ma'aser sheni, beishami amrim bekol haselam, hapirit selam amayis ma'aser sheni. If he wants to put all his copper onto silver, he could put it all onto silver. So you see, this is talking about outside of Eretz Yisrael. So you see, you could pass it twice onto money, because everybody holds that you could pass and exchange the copper for silver. So that means that if Ruvain put his ma'aser sheni on copper, he could then take the copper and put it on silver. So everybody holds that you can do a second generation. You can do kesef sheni. Ella the Gemara says we'll have to reverse that pshat. Ella the kuli alma ha kesef riba, and therefore you could put it on money and then exchange it onto other money. Va'afilu kesef sheni. Ella iyemad Rabbi Yochanan Rabbi Shimon Lakish. If we're going to explain the machlokes according to this second lashon of Rabbi Yochanan Rabbi Shimon Lakish, hachiyot. This is the way we're going to explain the machlokes. Chadama machlokes b'sla al dinar, putting silver onto gold, right? Where he wants to he wants to condense his stuff, and he wants to put silver onto gold. We're afraid to let Berish do this. You know why? Because he might delay his trip to Eretz Yisrael and say, look, I don't have enough silver coins. It's 25 silver coins for one gold dinari. I don't have enough ma'aser sheni. I'll wait till I have more ma'aser sheni, and then I'll have 25 pieces of silver that I'll be able to condense for a coin of gold, because it's just too I'm traveling by horse, it's too much to carry. So the Beis Shammai Savri, Beis Shammai holds Gazrinon, as we turn to Mem Hamad Beis, and pretty remarkable that in this hard Gemara, we're already at the 3/4 line. It's only an hour and 2 minutes that the shir is going. We need, by the way, Rabbi said, we need a lot of siyata d'shmaya. I want everybody to pop me mispal, because it's not enough that these are hard dafim, but we're coming to times where we're going to have to learn sometimes 2 or even 3 blot because of Matzah Yom Tov. So we're going to need a lot of siyata d'shmaya. So Barish says he's going to put in some extra tefillas. That's a good idea, Barish. B'chol Avram Ruvain, we need a lot of davening. So this puny Maggid Shir should be able to do it.
Just speed up the pace.
Where did I pick him up?
In the middle of West Rogers Park.
Was it in the Bowery?
Rewind, Marshall.
Michal Avram says that there aren't any people like you in the Bowery. Yeah, I know.
He hasn't even met me yet.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Chicago beware.
Now, listen, Philippe, Chicago survived me last week. It survived me.
You were there.
Yeah, yes, I was.
We're still reeling.
What are you talking about, Philippe? You're behind the times. The shir was broadcasted from Marshall's house. Just look it up on YouTube. I even put on YouTube.
I apologize.
You're forgiven. Don't do it again. Now, it said as follows: where Berish wants to exchange his silver coins for a golden coin. The Beis Shammai doesn't allow it because Gazrinon, he decrees Shema Yisha Ali Yosef. He might delay his going up there itself, which we never want. We never want people to delay going up Aliyah L'Regel. The Zimna Delay Malu Zuze Bedinra. There are times that he doesn't have enough silver coins to exchange, you need 25 silver coins for a golden coin, and he won't go up. We're not worried, because if he doesn't have enough coins, then how heavy could it be? If it's not enough to exchange, then then he doesn't have so many, so he'll go up with the silver coins. But to put fruit on the golden coins, Paris on the denare, everybody holds that he could deconsecrate it. We're not worried that he's going to put it off. The kavan the mirkave, because since it would spoil if he puts it off, they didn't have refrigeration. We're not worried that he'll put it off. Even Paris on golden coins is also a machlokes. Now, the machlokes of the Paris on golden coins, we're afraid that he might even delay that till he says, look, I'll put the fruit into the ground that they'll preserve, and I'll push it off even for the fruit. So the Gemara says, so we have two schools of thought here. One school of thought is that really Berish could do it, but we're just afraid of a derabanan, of a delay. The other version is that Berish can't do it because they hold that the gold is fruit and you can't deconsecrate fruit onto fruit. And that's a biblical problem. So the Gemara says, Bishloi malach lishna da'amit midaraisa mishrashari. Biblically it would be permitted, and it's just we're worried that Berish might delay his trip. V'rabanu de gazri bay. Hainu de tani, that's why it says yasa v'lo yasa. You should do it or not do it. Whether gold is considered merchandise and then you can't do fruit onto the gold because you can't do Paris on Paris, so then that's a biblical problem. Then it should say whether it is consecrated or not whether you should do it or not. Says Merkash, that's a bit of a difficulty. That's a difficulty on the first version. Now, there is another kinyan, which we see by weddings. We see it if you had the occasion to watch me sell the chametz. One of the Michal Avram, you ever see that? No. Some Yitz Hashem Monday, you'll come a week from Monday. You'll come to the house and you'll watch me sell the chametz with Tony. Reuven, you're invited. Reuven, you're invited. Well, Berish, you were there once? He was there. Are you there? It's interesting, right? Yeah, so Tony is coming again. And,
What time do you do it?
We do it Friday, Monday about 10:30.
10:30.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the morning?
In the morning, yeah. Yeah. So anyway, one of the 6 kinyanim is that Tony makes it his business to bring an article of clothing. Usually, he comes with a glove. He used to play paddleball and he used to wear a glove, so he brings me a glove. Last year, I think he brought pickleballs. Right? He brought a container of pickleballs. The idea is that chalipin is done, that I give you something and I get something in exchange. The question is, can you be kinda the kinyan of chalipin with money? Very interesting question. So it's chalipin is a special type of kinyan, a kinyan. When I give you my yarmulke, in exchange for that I get your pen. That's a kinyan. It's called kinyan chalipin. Could we, instead of, remember we said it's so ingenious. Remember we said by the chess set, when I gave Shelley the money, I don't inquire yet the chess set. I have to make a kinyan on the chess set, because the chess set is the merchandise. But what if we're not making a kinyan of purchase? We're making a kinyan chalipin. Can I say I'm giving Shelley the money, in exchange for that I'm getting the chess set? That's a different kinyan, it's kinyan chalipin. So the Gemara asks, Itma Rav Levi, it's a machlokes Rav and Levi, Chad Omar Matbeya Nasa Chalipin, coins could be used for a kinyan of exchange. V'chad Omar Ein Matbeya Nasa Chalipin, that coins cannot be used as a vehicle of a kinyan chalipin. So, my time in the mandiyama Ein Matbeya Nasa Chalipin. What's the reason of the opinion that says that coins cannot be used to make a kinyan chalipin? Now we have to know that we learn out kinyan chalipin from the pasuk that says now, that the shoe was removed and the shoe was used as an article of exchange. And it has to be like a shoe. Now the shoe is considered whole, shalei. We're afraid that when I give Shelley the money, Shelley doesn't have in mind of the value of the money. He has in mind of the mint on the money. Now it has a picture of Donald Trump on it. But if Donald Trump is put into jail, then his picture loses value. And then it's not whole. If he becomes president, then it has value. But he's put into jail, it'll lose its value, and then it's not whole. So the Gemara says, Mishum dedaite atsurasa. He has on mind on the picture that's minted on the coin. Vitsurasa avida de batla. Especially in those days where regimes fell and rose very frequently, and one king was beheaded and the other one was appointed. Obviously, if the coin has the picture of the king that's beheaded, that coin is not worth anything. So therefore, since it fluctuates, therefore, it's not a good article for exchange. So the Gemara says, well, let's see the Mishnah. T'nan azov kaines hakesef, that when I make mashicha on the gold, or hagva on the gold, so then the silver is binding, because we said the gold causes the silver to be acquired. My lav b'chalipin, doesn't that mean that it's an exchange? V'shma mino matbeya nasa chalipin, says no. That's what we're saying. It's a purchase, and the gold is the commodity. Loi bedamin, it's a purchase. Says the Gemara, but then there's a little bit of a inconsistency in the language. You see, when we make an exchange, it's straight up. When I get the yarmulke, you immediately acquire the other item. But when it's a purchase, when I take the make the mashiach on the gold, I have to give Shelley the silver, but he doesn't get it yet. It's just that I have to give it to them. It shouldn't say azov kaines hakesef mechayim meboile. It makes me liable to give him the money. So the Gemara says, you're right, amend that. Tani azov mechayim. The zav, once I make the purchase on the gold, which is the merchandise, I have to give Shelley the silver. And achinami mistabra. Midiktani sefer, it says in the sefer, hakesef eina kaines azav. When I give Shelley the silver, it yet doesn't make the deal binding on the gold, because remember we said that it's not binding until I make the merchandise, mashicha on the merchandise. Iyam b'shleime b'damim, it's a purchase. Hainu daminon dava pera. The gold is the merchandise. V'kas pativa, and the silver is the money. V'tiva, and just because Shelley got the money, pay her loikani, that doesn't make the binding on the merchandise, because we said the merchandise is not acquired until I make Hagvar Mashiach. But if it's Chalipin, then it should be acquired right away. Chalipin, Travayo Likna Adadi, they should be acquired right away. Both of them should be acquired right away. So it's obviously not Chalipin. Vaid, and furthermore, Tanya, HaKesev Eina Kainas Azav, that when I give Shelley the silver, I don't acquire the gold. Ketzad, Machaloi Esrim V'chamisha Dina Shel Kesev B'Dina Shel Zav. If Shelley is selling to me, if I'm selling to Shelley 25 pieces of silver for one piece of gold, Afal Pisha Moshe Chesa Kesef, even though Shelley pulled the silver, like Kana, he doesn't acquire it because the silver is not the merchandise. The silver is the currency. Until I pull the gold. That's good if it's a purchase. That's why if Shelley pulls the silver, he doesn't acquire it because silver is the money. You don't acquire it by getting the money. If it's an exchange, nikne. Says Gemara, Elamai b'damin. It's money. Look at the Reisha. Hazov kaines hakesef. Gold acquires the money, the silver, right? That when I make the Mashiach or the Hagva on the gold, Shelley acquires the silver. Ketzad. If Shelley sells me a dinner of gold for 25 pieces of silver, once I pull the gold, so the Gemara says, that's why it says that when I pull the gold, I take the gold, then Shelley acquires the silver. Remember, it's not that I have to give Shelley the silver, he acquires it. If it's a purchase, it just should say that I'm responsible to give him the silver. Once I pull the gold, then I have to pay him the silver. So say I should be chayiv to pay him the silver. Says Gemara, you're right. It's a purchase. What it means that once I make a Mashiach on the gold, it means that I have to give him the silver that we made up. It's a purchase. It means kimoishahu. It means like we made up. Kida amarle, like I promised Shelley. I'm buying a piece of gold denare for 25 new silver coins. So I have to give him new silver coins. Kida amarle. If I tell him that it's newly minted silver coins, if I tell him I'm going to give him newly minted silver coins, I can't give him old coins, even though those old coins are heavier. Even though they're heavier. Why? Because Shelley is planning to keep the silver coins around for a while. So he wants them to be fresh coins, because if they're not fresh, they'll really become tarnished by age. My time, I'm putting them away for a while, and therefore I want it to be fresh. Okay, here's where we're going to stop, as we got a nice start to Mesechtas, I said Mesechtas Azav, it's almost like a Mesechta, Perek Azav, and now we're going to do the Mishnah Yomis.